an ideal wash with cash. Jim Cornish, Ecowash, established 2004, 6 employees, 125 franchises, $8 million turnover. Jim Cornish's first word was, "If only his parents had known," a partial prophecy. It's absolutely true, my first word was car, Cornish explains. As it turned out, he was just one word, wash, short of predicting his fortune. It wasn't all that long before little Jim was driving cars. My mum used to race cars. She was the New South Wales hill climb champion back in the 1960s. I started nagging her to teach me to drive when I was very young. She taught me when I was about 4 or 5. Cornish recalls, Ecowash is the latest generation of environmentally friendly flexographic plate washout solutions. Ecowash combines high productivity, low odor, health and safety advantages, and ease of use. I had my school bag behind my back so I could reach the pedals. Cornish, 38, didn't become a Formula One champion, but he did get into car racing in a big way, competing as an amateur in the super touring category at Bathurst in 1997. 98, and 99. His career followed a very different track. I did 3 years of veterinary science and then an extra research year in combination with Taronga Zoo on the reproductive physiology of exotic species, Cornish says. So, basically, giraffe shagging. But the Dr. Dolittle experience, which took up 6 years of study, was always a sideline to Cornish's driving ambition, running his own business. It was something I always wanted to do. I set up my first business when I was 18, 6 months into my first year at uni, he says. I set up one of those video game entertainment centers, back when they were cool. I had to get a $15,000 loan, for which my parents went guarantor, but I made the money back very quickly. After just a year, the owner of a chain of pinball parlors offered to buy him out. He came in and told me I was running it all wrong, and maybe he was right. Cornish says, I hate inefficiency and wasting money, so back then I thought, who comes to a pinball parlor? Kids from school. And because we wanted to be socially responsible, we didn't open until 3 p.m., so kids couldn't wag school to come in. Anyway, this guy changed all the rules, and he went bust within a year. What Cornish learned from the experience was how to run a business by thinking like a consumer. That wasn't hard, because he enjoyed playing his own machines after closing time. Cornish finished his vet science studies, then went straight back to school to do an MBA. I've always had this thing about time. Mates of mine took 2 years off and went to Europe, but I never did any of that. I just wanted to get it done and get on with it, he says. Still racing, and by now a sponsored driver, he was also working full-time in the pet food industry for Nestle. Then, in 2004, his life changed overnight. Cornish's car, a black Monero that I valued more than anything in my life, etc., except my loved ones, of course, was serviced by a mate named Stuart Nishalls. He called me up and said he wanted to wash my car, but he wasn't going to use any water. I said, no way, don't you dare touch it. But eventually he talked me into letting him show me how this product he'd found worked. I was so impressed we teed up a meeting the following day with the people who were looking at importing it. We told them, we're going to have mobile car washing and franchises, just give us a year of exclusivity. It all happened literally overnight. I rang my accountant that day, we went and saw the lawyers, and we set up a company. It was that quick. Nishal shut down his garage immediately, and the pair mortgaged their homes so they could buy a brace of Daihatsus and paint them bright orange. Ecowash, the waterless car wash, was born. The secret of the waterless wash is a polymer product originally imported from Monaco. You spray it onto the car and it actually lifts the dirt off the surface and encapsulates it. The polymer acts as a lubricant. There are no petrochemicals in it, so it leaves the car polished and protected because a layer of polymer stays on the car. I was going to stay at Nestle because I had a good deal there, but it just got too busy, so 6 weeks later I resigned. Cornish says, while a waterless wash has big appeal in drought-prone Australia, the Ecowash brand was actually launched before widespread water restrictions hit. The line we used is, the indulgence of a clean car with a clean conscience, Cornish says. But we didn't market ourselves as an environmental solution. Any business needs to be sustainable, so it was part of our core business strategy rather than a marketing strategy. We also came into the market at quite a premium. You can get your car washed for $12 and we charge $35, so there had to be more value for customers than just feeling good about saving trees. That's where the quality and convenience came in. In some of our overseas markets, like France, there is no water issue, but it's been taken up just as quickly there. Now, a premium car wash is one of the first things you'd expect to be cancelled when people start counting their pennies, but Ecowash has continued to grow in terms of both franchises and customers, despite the credit crunch. Even Cornish isn't certain why. We've had some corporate clients cancel on us, particularly in America, but business is up, and some of our franchises are booked out for 2 months in advance. Cornish suspects several things are working in his favor. People aren't buying cars like they used to, so maybe they're looking after them better. Then again, there are lots of people selling cars to save money, and they want them looking pristine to get the best price. We're getting business either way. Another factor may be time. I'm hearing about people working longer hours to keep their jobs or earn extra money so they don't have time to wash cars themselves. France is just one of 15 countries that Ecowash has expanded into, and global growth has remained steady despite the economic downturn. Australia has been one of the toughest markets to crack. Cornish says, "We're naturally a cynical nation, I think." The company operates in the Middle East and Central America as well as Europe. In the US, we went in expecting there to be competition, but there's nothing even close to us. But because of the recession, we are underperforming on our targets there, though we're still growing healthily. Cornish says, "A big problem in the US and Australia has been not finding more franchises. The company is deluged with applications, but finding franchises who can get funding from the banks. Banks have become much more cautious, and even though you need only $45,000 or so to start a franchise, they are reluctant to lend." The cash crisis prompted Cornish to take a close look at the business and strip out unnecessary costs. "We used to advertise in almost every franchising magazine and on every website, but we analyzed where we were getting the best applicants from and focused our money there, canceling the other advertising." Cornish has also found many companies and organizations keen to form partnerships and alliances during the downturn, pooling resources to secure discounts. "We just formed an alliance with the American Automobile Association, which has millions of members. We've also started an arrangement with Holden National Leasing and with Leaseplin in Greece. It's a great time to hammer out these sorts of deals." Ecowash cracked its first million in just its second year of business, thanks to a customer base that is 70% female, and turnover is now $7.5 million. But Cornish hasn't seen fit to reward himself for his success yet. "I'm notoriously bad at that. I'll set goals like, when we get to this point, I'll do this. And then we get there I go, nah, that was a stupid idea, let's just keep going." You have moments where you sit back and go, wow, how cool was that? But we still put everything back into the business. It's not a feeling of arrival, it's a feeling of being well on the way. Cornish says his job doesn't feel like work anymore, it's become a lifestyle. Fortunately, that lifestyle still includes his first driving passion: cars. "I just love cars, not just fast ones. I've got a 4-wheel drive now and I even love driving that. Anything with wheels and a motor, I'm hooked." Stephen Corby. Golden rules. 1. Choose something you can be passionate about. 2. Build systems. Simplify every process and make sure it can be duplicated. 3. Fix things once. Multiply every problem by 100 before starting on the solution. 4. Look at where you are getting results and focus resources there. 5. Be honest and open with your staff. Communication is critical.